Alrighty guys, today we are going to play Minecraft and beat the Ender Dragon. I'm sure you've heard hundreds of videos start off like that before. I'm going to beat Minecraft doing blank. I'm going to defeat the Ender Dragon while not crouching. I'm going to blah 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 blah. You know, every speedrunner always brags about how fast they complete the game, what their world record speedrun is. Yet a lot of seasoned players are always complaining about, even in the hardest of difficulty, on hardcore, the game is too easy. In fact, but more importantly, it's too easy to get one of the most important items in the game, the Elytra. About 2 years ago, I came up with this idea for a Minecraft mod. One that would both force the player to explore more of the world and also making the end more difficult to reach. In Minecraft, you don't even need to touch the Wither or get near the new water mob they added recently, which most players would argue are more difficult boss fights than even the Ender Dragon, especially on Bedrock.
Yo, you good? What's going on?
My idea came around the time of the archaeology updates, and the updates with the deep dark biome, the warden, and armor trims. And I thought to myself, is there a way to make exploring the world more enticing? Force the player to challenge themselves, actually complete the game before going on to what's considered the end game? Well, short answer is yes, and here's how I did it. If you've been following my channel, I posted a hardcore series playing with my mod and other mods that I have, where I try to complete the game with all my newly added items and blocks, which I'll show out a list right now. With my mod, the player is forced to explore the entire world, venturing to places such as the Mushroom Islands, go to places like the Woodland Mansion, beat the Wither, the Warden, and the Ele Gardens, all before they're able to open up the end portal and reach the end. In this video, I'll simply be showing you in creative mode how and where to find each artifact, how to craft them, and how to unlock the end portal. And yes, creative mode, because that's literally how long this is going to take. And so you're probably wondering, what is the name of this mod that I've been talking about this whole time? It's called the Ancient Artifacts mod 2. No, wait, no, not that mod. Sorry, the Ancient Artifacts mod. Link to the mod will be in the description. Alright, so the first and most important block you need to get in this game. That's right. Dirt. Bruh. I'm not even kidding you. Alright, so let's start with looking for one of the first items and probably most easiest items to find. The Totem of Order. Find one of those, you're going to want to look in villages that have houses that have chests. And now they're in different buildings, but typically you'll find it in just about any village. Alright, let's look in this village. And there we go, we found the first item. The next structure you're going to want to find is a villager outpost. And these aren't too typically hard to find, but once you find one of those, you go up to the top of here and you'll find the Totem of Chaos. The next structure you're going to want to find is the Ruin Portal. And these can typically be found anywhere, underground, above ground, in the water. So once you find one of these room portals, you just need to check and see in the chest if it has the item, and this one obviously does. Some of them will not, like I said before. And while we're down here, another item we're going to want to find is the Dragon Pedestal, and you should be able to find them at any one of these chests. So I found one right here. That is our fourth item on the list. And sometimes when you're in these abandoned mine shafts, you might find a dungeon, and if you find one of these dungeons, you can grab the Dragon Pedestal, which is the next item on our list. While I was stumbling around, I just happened to find a Mushroom Island out of nowhere. This is typically not very common. If you want the world seed, let's get this video to 500 likes maybe, and I'll give it this world seed. Yeah, this is a very big island. Wow, this is very huge. The item you're going to get on here, if you just so happen to find the mycelium island full of mushrooms and mycelium block, is you're going to want to take a shovel, and it can be any kind of shovel. It does not matter what kind of shovel. Just remember, this island is very, very rare to find, so the fact that I found it so easily was not very common. But you're going to want to right click on the shovel with your mouse, and then eventually at a 10% chance you will get the mycelium dust right here. And again, there's no particular order on how we want to get these items. And while you're on the surface, another more difficult item you're going to want to find is the Chachapoyan idol, which can be found in the Jungle Temple. And if you don't know where the Jungle Temple is, it's always in the jungle, obviously. And I don't know depends on what biome, but version of the jungle, but it's always this little kind of stony looking mark on the map if you have a map. And when you get down here, you're going to want to go into the chest in here, and there's about a 30 to 50% chance of finding it, I believe. And there it goes. This time I got lucky, other times not so much. And now if you don't find it in there, there's always that hidden chest you can find in here, and there's one here as possibly as well. Another pyramid-like structure you're going to want to find is a desert pyramid. Now, this one's saying it's right here. It must be buried under the sand. Ah, there it is. And you're going to want to fall down here and not step on that pressure plate, as you would know. Sometimes it's not in here. Here we go. We found one right here. And just out of curiosity, I'm going to check all of these. Nope. It's got a lower chance of being found. I think it's only in one of the 3 or 4 chests. And when you're exploring a little more, this is kind of not as difficult as a biome as people may think, is to find this Badlands biome. And specifically, you're going to want to find this red sand. And it's going to be a similar process to the mycelium. You're going to want to take a shovel of any kind. And you're going to want to take that shovel and right click on the sand. And this one has a 5% chance of dropping. Once you find one that drops it, then you will have the red ice item. Speaking of ice, there is another item that you can find as well. Now, if you're lucky and you look around enough, you may find one of these igloos. They're kind of hard to find on the map necessarily, but if you do find one, great. They're usually in any snowy biome as far as I'm aware. Typically in vanilla, they don't, according to the game files, these little basements underneath this carpet only spawn 10% of the time, but with my mod, I've made it 90% of the time. So you'll pretty much almost always find the basement with this igloo because these igloos are so hard to find. I've managed to find them a couple of times, and this black ice almost always spawns in here. So that is the other piece of ice that you'll want to grab from in here. And while you're at it, you can also cure the zombie villager if he's in there. Switching over to the oceans, the next item and artifact you're going to want to gather is the Elder Guardian scales. Obviously, as the name implies, the only way to get the Elder Guardian scales is to actually kill the Elder Guardian. And it's not going to be those little guardian guys. You're going to want to find the Elder Guardian. Find him, you just need to navigate through this pyramid or monument. You need to navigate through this monument, and problem is in survival, when you're navigating this monument, you'll get the spoons effect now, which means that you will not be able to mine. Oh, look at that. Wow, I found him. All right, let's go ahead and kill him. And he has a certain percentage chance of dropping the item. Doesn't look like he dropped it there. Oh, and there we go. I finally got it. Yeah, you could just tell it's a lot lower chance of this dropping, mainly probably due to the fact that it has a large pool of loot. It has a large loot table, I should say. So yeah, you're probably going to want to find a few of these monuments and kill all the other guardian that are spawning in it. Now, another more difficult structure you're going to want to find is the mansion. And this one wasn't too far away from spawn. A lot of these can be pretty difficult to find. And when you do find one of these mansions, you're going to want to either kill the evokers, or you're going to want to find the loot chest hidden in the mansion. And they're not going to be in any of these. All right, found ourselves an evoker. So all you need to do is kill him. He doesn't have a lot of health if you have a strong weapon. He's the one that drops the totems of undying. And there you go, got an evoker's key, and I got an achievement. And before I forget, there is some vanilla items that you're going to want to find. Obviously, you're going to want the Eyes of Ender, but before we go and do that, you're going to want to get in one of these shipwrecks and find buried treasure. And the reason why you want to find buried treasure is in the treasure chest there is usually a Heart of the Sea, and the Heart of the Sea is the next item we're going to want to find. But I'll go ahead and show you how to dig up this treasure. A lot of times these treasures will be underneath sand, not always underwater like this one is, but it looks like this one is directly under the water. So you'll probably want to bring some sponges or bring some blocks to fill up this water so that you can dig underneath here. I'm just going to go down here and do this. Oh, I broke the chest, and there we go. We got the item right here. Now, switching gears before we go and kill the warden, you're going to want to probably go to the nether at some point. You hop right in here. And there's going to be 2 different items you're going to want to get in here. Actually 3, technically. The first one you're going to want to find is a nether fortress. These are not too hard to find, typically. In fact, I just found one right here. And while I'm here, I'm gonna and grab myself a blaze rod because we're gonna need a couple of those. And there are a few items you're gonna want to get here. Another one of those items you're gonna want to get is a wither skull. And yeah, wither skulls are not easy to get. Somewhere in these nether fortresses, you should find a couple chests hidden around these hallways. Oh, it looks like we found a chest. Yes, and all you need is about 3 of these. You could take them all. You might as well. They make a good decorative block. It's cheating if I go ahead and give myself a wither skull, just because we're going to need to build something with it in just a second. The next structure you're going to want to try to find is a bastion remnant. Now, you're going to want to find a very large one. Now, you're going to want to find one of these chests. And yes, I know you're going to have to open the chest up near them and see which chest it is in. Here it is. We found it. It was in one of these chests. So you're going to want to find the gilded plate, which is one of the other items on the list as well. And now one of the last biomes you're going to want to find is the deep, dark, ancient city. And the reason why you're going to want to find that is because there are 2 items that we're looking for here. We're looking for the echo shard, which can be found in one of these chests, and we want the warden's heart. And it doesn't look like we have one in there. That is really unfortunate. Okay, well, it looks like we spawned the warden, so we might as well fight him first.
3 hours later.
Now we finally got it. We got the... And another one just spawned. That's lovely. Oh, we found one right here. Yeah, you probably want to GTF out of this area once you find these 2 items. Oh, and look at that. I just happened to find 3 more in that chest. Of course I did. Of course. You know, I went through all that trouble just to find none in these chests. Well, I hope you grab soul sand in the nether, because now we're going to need to build the wither. Boom, boom. For whatever reason, the wither doesn't want to spawn, so we're just gonna do this.
A few moments later.
And once you kill him, you just have to get his nether star. Do not forget that. That's very important. And that will be one of the final items you need. And finally, the final item you're gonna need is 3 frogs and 3 magma blocks. The reason why I say that is you're going to need to find 3 different frog variants. In this case, the green frog spawns in the snow biome. For whatever reason, it's the green one. And you're going to want to get this slime down into a small, manageable size. And once he's in a small, manageable size, he will eat the slime. Eventually. Hey, there he goes. You're going to want to do this for all 3 frog variants. So now if you find the other frog variants, you have to get a magma cube onto the surface out here. Have the frog, there he goes. He ate the magma cube. And that is our second frog light. So I believe the white one will spawn in the mangrove. I don't know about the regular swamp, but they do spawn in the mangrove. And there he goes. He should eat that frog. And there you go. Now you have all 3. And you'll know you have all 3 because you have that achievement. And that will be all of the items you need for now. Now, before we go down to a stronghold, you're going to want to do the following. You're going to take a furnace, you're going to want to put some coal in it, and you're going to put each of these frog lights into the furnace. And you're going to want to smelt them. And when you smelt each one, you'll get these little itty bitty firefly buds. And yeah, they're very hard to see, so don't lose track of them. And what you're going to want to do with those frog lights is you're going to want to take 3 glass at the bottom, 3 glass at the top, and in no particular order, you can put each of these frog lights in the middle, and you will now craft the firefly orb, which is the last item we need for the mod. Our next step is to head down to the stronghold. Before we head down to the end portal, we're going to want to get a brewing stand. Now you can find these in villages or you can craft it with a blaze rod, and you're going to want to grab one of those brewing stands and bring it with you before you reach the end portal. And here we are. Now we found a stronghold as well as a ruin portal. Before we go into the ruin portal area, you're going to want to go and find a chest somewhere. And the reason why we want to find that is because there is still one more item we are missing. The last thing you're going to want to find is one of these ender rods. Now they usually should spawn in any of these chests, and then you're going to want to make your way to the end portal. Finally, we are finally done. And the first thing you're going to probably want to do is get a brewing stand. We're going to take the brewing stand. You're going to want to bring some aqua potions with you. You're going to also want to grab a bit of blaze powder and put that in the brewing stand. Once you've done that, first thing you're going to want to do is place the nether grass on the top, and that should make the awkward potion brew. The reason why we're doing this is because we need to make 5 different bases. Elixir base 1, and we're going to leave that right in there. We do not want to drink that. The next base we're going to make is elixir base 2, and for that you're going to need mycelium dust. The next item you're going to want to place is black ice, and that will give us elixir base 3. The 4th base is going to be red ice. The 5th base is going to be the firefly orb that we just made. The last piece we're going to want to put in is the warden's heart to make the elixir of Drake. And that will give you the achievement Tastes Like Crap. Now we're going to need those blocks that we gathered earlier, like the dirt that I totally didn't just put in my inventory just now. And we're going to need the 3 of these nether blocks. And you're going to place it like so. Nether brick, we're going to place dirt in the middle, and 2 of these nether bricks on the side. You're going to want to take the totem of order, the totem of chaos, and the Chachapoyan idol. I might get rid of this. Then you're going to want to place this Chachapoyan item in the middle. Place the totem of order or chaos on either side. I've changed it recently so that it doesn't matter. You're going to want to go back to your crafting table that you totally didn't just place down. You're going to want to take this crafting table. You're going to also want an eye of ender, and you're going to want to take the ender rod that you just grabbed. You're going to put the nether star above it, and you're going to place the eye of ender above that. And this way, or you can place it this way, and that will give you the end staff. Once you have the end staff, you also need to craft. So you put a blaze rod in the middle, echo shard at the bottom, and wither skeleton skull at the top, and you'll get the ether lever. You'll place the ether lever right here, flip it on. We're going to want to place the gilded plate here, and then place the dragon pedestal on top. You're going to want to take that dragon fossil you found in the abandoned mineshaft and place it on top like that. You're going to want to then grab the heart of the sea and place it in here. And before we continue, you're going to actually want to go back to the Chachapoyan idol, and you're going to want to place a few items in the Chachapoyan idol while looking at it. So first you're going to want to right click with the evoker's key. That'll unlock it. You place the ink pendant in there. You place the Elder Guardian scales in the eyebrows. And then finally, you're going to want to take that potion you just made called the Elixir Drake, and you're going to want to use it on there, and his eyes should turn blue. You grab that guy right there, and then you're going to want to take this orb of infinium and place it in the eyes of the dragon fossil head. Once you have done all of that, you can finally then use the end staff on the back of the dragon fossil, and you should get a gold achievement saying beginning at the end. And once you're done with that, all you need to do now is grab these eyes of ender, and you're going to want to place them in the head of the portal, just like that, and then you're done! Finally! Oh my gosh, that took so long, even in creative mode. And now you can finally go to the end and beat the ender dragon, wherever he is. There he is. Look how beautiful it is here. And that is the entire mod in its entirety. Now, there are a few bonus features that I want to quickly mention now that we finally reached this point. I don't know how long this video is going to be. One of the cool items I added that is kind of an optional block in the... Okay, we're just gonna get away from that guy for a second because he's just kind of loud. Anyway, one of the blocks that is optional but usable in the mod is going to be this block called copper wire. which is a really cool block that I've added to the game. So what it does is you can power redstone via wired connection, but in any direction other than just normal redstone directions. So first you're going to want any kind of copper block, preferably just a normal block of copper. You can take this ether lever you made and you can connect it to any of the sides, and then you can place the copper on pretty much any side, and then you can place it like this. I don't know why it's doing this weird little visual glitch right there. And then you can connect lights at any which points, and just like that, it turns them on. Boom, now you have copper wire. Boom, and now when you break the connection, it disconnects. And there you go. That is copper wire. I believe the connection length is 15 blocks. Eventually, I'll probably add a way to extend the length of the connection via some other block and daisy chain them that way. And that will probably be another part of the mod later on in the, down the road, maybe with the Tricky Trials update that they've added. And then the last kind of little neat feature I have is that the Chachapoyan idol can ignite creepers. And then if I place this within a 16 block radius of the creeper, it'll ignite the creeper. And yeah, that's pretty much about it in terms of extra features right now. That's why I have this mod in a beta version, not a full release yet, because there's a lot more I still want to do with the mod. But aside from that, yeah, that's pretty much the whole mod. And you could download this mod in the link in the description. I also have the wiki link there as well. I'm going to try to use another mod to make an in-game booklet for the instructions and steps of all of the mod, because I know it's long and very extensive and not everybody wants to go to a wiki page to find the steps. Yeah, I will work on that in the near future, but until then, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.